The old adage goes, two can keep a secret if one of them is dead. To which 13 Reasons says, ha ha, nope. As such, the high concept for it can be defined as such, a suicide story, but the suicide note is instead a set of tapes, and the anguish declaration of heartbreak is instead more like a thinly veiled fuck you to many of those involved. Originally a 2007 novel by Jay Asher, it spent the better part of a decade in development hell until it was finally developed into a Netflix original series released March 2017. 13 Reasons Why is the story of Hannah Baker's life and untimely death. 13 Reasons is, to be rather blunt, the prelude and aftermath of a high school girl's suicide. Through the tapes, we are introduced to Hannah's account of the events of the previous year that wore away at her. In the present, we follow the actions of those named in the tapes, as well as their friends, family, and school officials, as they come to terms with their death and their parts in it. 13 Reasons Why pulls no punches in regards to any of its characters. Even the sympathetic ones are considered at fault for Hannah's death, and this extends to the audience as well. There are traumatic events in the show, and it never shies away from showing them to the viewer. Rape occurs multiple times in the show, and there are no discretion shots. Suicide occurs as well, and the audience is fed this in an even rawer fashion. There's no music, no artistic cuts, or camera work. It's all straight, no chaser. And if that wasn't enough, Hannah nonchalantly drops the disheartening fact that many people looking for signs wouldn't have been able to see them anyway. While the show's willingness to not shy away from traumatic events adds to the rawness and emotional weight of the series, it definitely isn't for everyone. By now, it should be readily apparent that rape and suicide, amongst other traumatic events, have a very, very large presence in the narrative here. So it's understandable why one may not want to watch this. Hell, the premise alone is enough to scare a parent or guardian witless. And while we're talking about things that just might turn you off from the show, let's talk about this guy. Oh, Clay, you sweet summer child. Listen, Clay acts as the point of view character. This may be Hannah's story, but it is filtered through the lens of Clay's imagination. He controls how the story is disseminated to us as the audience. So for one of the most emotionally poignant yet utterly frustrating reasons, Clay is going to piss you off and on, for the majority of the series. And why is that, you ask?
It's starting to make sense to me. Why she did what she did.
I can help you through this.
And can you tell me why I'm on the tapes?
You have to listen. It's what Hannah wanted.
Yeah, I know. What Hannah wanted. What you're so sure of, though you won't say how.
This right here. The show has a strong, anyone on the tapes is a complete asshole vibe going, so I get that Clay wouldn't want to hear that he may have contributed to his friend's suicide in some manner. However, the story can't meaningfully continue without his active participation. So every moment Clay spends not listening to the tapes is another moment the audience goes without fully knowing how all of this came about. Plus, he looks dumb as hell asking people, who don't want to talk about it I might add, what the tapes say about him when they are right there in his possession. I mean, they're literally right there. Just listen to them. So Clay Jensen, if you don't finish those damn tapes, so help me God, I will materialize myself into your universe and finish you. But I digress. I get the feeling that the characters of 13 Reasons received more closure than many friends and families of actual suicide victims ever receive. And that's due to the tapes. Truthfully, the tapes are the linchpin of the whole experience. It keeps it from feeling like a period piece by filtering out any unnecessary technology. I would have dropped this show so fast if they attempted to cram modern internet culture into this. But humor aside, conversation regarding suicides generally are framed in a manner in which the onus is on the suicidal individual to talk to someone about what's going on. 13 Reasons takes that and runs with it. This is unapologetically Hannah, live and in stereo. Despite the trappings of the series though, this isn't a series about talking so much as it's a series about listening. There are no return engagements, no encores, and she's taking no requests. This isn't a conversation after all. There's no place for any of the usual deflections and dismissals. Oh, she was just being selfish. Well, she made her choice. Or she just wanted attention. All easily swatted down. She wasn't selfish, she was hurt and neglected. She made a choice because she was made to feel like she didn't have any others. And you're damn right she wanted attention, but only from a select few people, and for certain reasons, and they know what they did. And if you didn't know before, you do now. Hannah laments that feeling like you shouldn't be here anymore feels like nothing, and that it looks like nothing. But of course it would. We don't know what to look for, and that's what makes the tape so ingenious. The personal, intimate messages from one person to another, and with all of the heartbreak, loneliness, and betrayal that comes with it. They force the characters, and by extension the audience, to listen and pay attention to the confusing hustle and bustle of teenage life that we've all come to take for granted. With the exception of a few souls, no one in the show is an overtly terrible person, and no one thinks what they did was all that bad. But rather than explicit maliciousness, it was a lack of empathy that led Hannah to her fate. That's ultimately the best thing to take away from this series. You never really know how hard the blows are going to hit until they land. So be a little nicer to each other. Okay? If there's anything you think I missed or ways you think I can improve, feel free to share in the comments. If you like what I do and would like more, you know what to do. As always, all support is greatly appreciated. For my general anime and video game fare, swing by Interweb at Venturelog or any of the other places I frequent on the web. Links are in the description. Thank you once again. Until next time.